you try to make it look as good as you can on Facebook, but at the end of the day, you're stepping on cow killers. I think you were touring a brothel. Going to be silly and real and stepping on people because I get Cascade like top shelf. It gets for everything. I don't have time to rinse.
Welcome officially, Christy, to Down the Rabbit Trail.
Hi. Happy to be here.
I don't know the last time that actually the three of us were ever in the same room.
Have we ever been in the same?
No. We've never been in the same room.
Which is so weird.
Well, I mean, no. You moved him all the way down to bloody Matthews.
And I apologize for that.
Wait, I don't even know what part of town you live in anymore. You used to live kind of close to me.
I'm like right in the middle of you guys.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Concord. Straight up middle of everywhere.
Okay. So I'm going to be out of this a little bit because it's going to be way more entertaining hearing it from the two of you because, you know, when we had Ike on, we needed that whole backstory of how the three of us were connected. And Christy, I know you and Brian go way further back than I know you. So let's hear that. What's the connection?
I think it was probably 1998. Maybe. We both were working at Chick-fil-A University, which we both have lots of Facebook friends from then. So we bagged food together. We had so much fun. We would do our favorite accents in the drive-thru. We would it was like the best job ever. And I'm not just saying that. I had I don't know if filleting chicken is fun, but it was amazing. And I felt like Brian and I are like equally silly. So we just had a lot of fun. That was like,
it was a great group of people.
Wasn't it?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we had great people. Like all of the people were like, you know, even our managers and stuff were in on it, on the shenanigans and the fun and like, yeah.
It was so fun. And it was just like it was a sweet time. Like, I don't know. And we were probably 16, 17. It was just lots of good memories. Fresh, innocent, Chick-fil-A fun. Plus, I got a scholarship. Did you get a scholarship?
I did. My name was on the wall until they moved to the new building, I think.
Yes. Same.
You had to work enough hours and something or another to get, like, I think it was like $2,000 or $1,000 or something.
It was $500, and I believe you had to fillet like 25 hours worth of chicken. So, and cut your hands on the lemonade squeezer 80 times, and then you get $500. I'm here for it. I was there for it. Paid for a semester of Central Piedmont that I dropped out of. So
hey, we're the same. Same thing.
Same. What are you gonna do?
So how long did that go on for?
3 or 4 years.
I feel like we started around the same time. I think we may have gotten hired together.
It was close to the time.
Close. So we were probably 16, and I think I stopped when I was maybe 20-ish, 19. I mean, it was years. We had so many friends, though. So many good times.
Yeah.
Good time.
We had a good group of people there. It was in the pranks. We played some good pranks on people.
Good pranks.
Remember, we'd always have the new person go watch the flagpole. Give them a bucket and a ladder, and they'd have to go watch the flagpole.
Oh yes, good time.
Well, Eric, turns out the funny part was there's no flagpole, so that was just wander the parking lot for half an hour.
Our operator would probably not approve of all of that.
We also had mutual friends in, you know, Frank Clark and that whole family. Their families were good friends of your family and
long time friends. So you knew him, and then I guess you knew John Grubbs, and I was in a band with Grubbs. I was a singer.
Yep.
We had lots of good mutual connections.
Eric, you're not familiar with the spatulas?
No, no, no.
Please Google it.
Never Google the spatulas. I'd never want that. I never want that.
Oh man.
I'll post a link down in the description. Everybody, check it out.
Link in comments. Link in comments. It was. I mean, there's some songs that are coming to my head right now, but I won't. I'm not gonna.
And Frank was so serious on the drums, he took it very seriously.
It was not a joke. The spatulas were not a joke. Not to Frank. Not to Frank. Oh, it's good time.
Good times, good times. And so I introduced Christy to Eric when he needed a realtor, and that's sort of how this has happened.
Yeah, which is pretty comparatively recently. I had the Facebook memory pop up just the other day of you putting the sign in our yard in Charlotte.
I saw that too. You were so, I remember you guys were kind of nervous when I came over because it was the first time you'd sold a house, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was kind of, you know, lots of unknowns. It was fun though. You guys were lots of fun.
Yeah, we
You were very analytical. You were a numbers guy.
As I tend to be.
Mm-hmm. There was no selling you on the emotion of the process. It was all about.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah. And here you are, Mrs. Big Shot, with awards that you and your group tout and going selling the whole Charlotte area and making fun virtual open houses and stepping on bees and.
Y'all, I still have this stinger in my foot. I'm not joking.
Oh,
Get it out. I called the doctor's office. Is that weird? We shouldn't talk about that, should we?
It doesn't matter.
Do you?
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I called the doctor. They were like, we really want it to be more of like a, you know, like they're trying to keep people from coming in for like non-serious things. I'm like, I can see it. Like it was a cow killer. Do you guys know what cow killers are?
Yeah.
Like they're like,
Yeah.
that's what I on. So the stinger it's in there. But I've been so busy, I haven't really thought about it.
Is it like one of those deals where it's like just below the skin?
Mm-hmm. I need to get like a safety pin or something. What I need is a sticker. So that might be a while. So, but yeah, it's kind of weird. But yeah, that's the reality is like you try to make it look as good as you can on Facebook. But at the end of the day, you're stepping on cow killers. And I mean, that's the biz. So what are you going to do?
They don't tell you about that. They don't tell you about that in realtor school, do they?
That was not on my exam.
Oh man! Speaking of exams, that was a horrible transition because we haven't talked about.
I thought you were going to say speaking of cow killers, and I wanted you to, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
We'll edit this out. Speaking of cow killers, our sponsor today is the Aldi's quarter.
Yes, the Aldi quarter.
It's uncomfortable.
Without the Aldi quarter.
Uncomfortable.
I mean, they give you the quarter. Do you take it? I don't know. I can't ever find a quarter. Like I like it in theory, but it just, I don't know.
Hang on 1 second.
Wait.
Where's he going?
He's getting a quarter.
He is. He must. My wife on her keychain has a little Aldi quarter holder.
I love it.
But we try to bring up Aldi in every episode at least once, it seems. So I got this delicious Big Brother root beer from Aldi.
Aldi's is stepping up their game.
You guys not. Ow, jeez. Son of a.
What's happening?
Oh.
You okay?
You guys not have one of these.
Aaron does.
I just mentioned that my wife has one, but it does not say Aldi on it.
You don't have an officially licensed Aldi quarter holder?
Say that 4 times fast.
Yeah, really. Do you guys even Aldi-o?
Christy,
oh, yeah.
Does having an Aldi nearby increase the value of your property?
It depends on the price point. I would say yes. Aldi and Trader Joe's are a family, and right, they're like the same person. So we're gonna go with yes. I mean, it was definitely be a selling point for me.
But that kind of makes me think of a legitimate follow-up to that. Like, is there certain retail that definitely helps or hurts, the sellability of a property?
I would say IKEA, Whole Foods, which I think they're going to, no, Earth Care's going out of business. Whole Foods, like all that like super granola stuff is like super popular. So yeah.
Gotcha.
I would say there is definitely some attraction to some of those places. I'm not sure I've ever specifically heard all these. I'm not saying I haven't, but I'm not saying I have.
So what about the flip side?
Like, what do you not want to be around?
Yeah.
Like right behind.
Like mainstream. Like you probably don't want to be next to a crack house.
Yes. Also meth.
Or a meth house. Okay.
And
illegal drugs are
illegal
out.
drugs. Train tracks sometimes can be something like anything with a loud noise or odor. But then some people love train tracks. It's very iconic, very Americana. So, to each their own. I love it all.
Oh God, Christy, you never, wait, hang on. No, yeah, this was when I was buying my first house, the one that you sold. We toured.
Are you going to talk about another realtor? Because
no,
I don't know.
Hang on. Now, okay, Heidi was great, but she had her time and she helped us, but that was then.
This is before he knew you. Before I
knew you.
Okay.
But I need to talk about the party house. And this was a house.
I think we need to talk a little bit more about Heidi, because brings back.
She's got nothing on you, Christy. She really does.
I'm just kidding.
She's got nothing on you.
She's not even his type.
No.
She's all about the feeling, not the numbers. It's okay,
Yeah.
She's all emotion and no seller net sheet. Go on.
So
more about Heidi. Let's talk more about Heidi. We'll have that conversation. What else did Heidi?
We found this house on the comp sheet or whatever that we got one week, and it was in an interesting location. It had easy access to like the Mallard Creek Greenway and stuff like that. It's cool, good square footage, good location. Went to check it out. Walked through the front door. Immediately, something was up. The house was moved out of, and the floors were 100% marble tile, possibly faux marble, but marble tile with hardwood inlays. The downstairs had like it had a formal dining on the one side and like another mini dining on the other side, which wasn't anything interesting. You walked through. In the kitchen, all the cabinets were painted black. And then you go into the garage, it was chroma key green. So like think of the brightest green you can. That was the color of the garage.
Your memory wildly accurate. I'm so impressed.
There was an addition off the back of the house that, as best as we can figure, was like an underground nightclub. Because again, marble tile with like very intentional inlays about the size and shape of a dance floor, with you could tell where light fixtures were in the ceiling, and it had like 2 little wet bar areas.
Sounds exciting.
Did it have a jar by the front door? Did it have a jar by the front door you leave your keys in?
No, but every single one of the upstairs bedrooms was a different, very vibrant color.
I think you were touring a brothel. I don't know, but I feel like that could have been very possible.
Hence why it was forever known as the party house. I still have the pictures somewhere from the listing and that I took when we were walking around.
And what did Heidi say? How did Heidi feel? Because I think that's what we're all wondering.
It had potential. It had potential, but she was very encouraging that we probably should look at other properties.
And then you found one, so that's good.
One of the houses that we looked into, this was back when we were trying to buy the house here, and we were just trying to show you, like, it was such a hot time that we didn't even have time to go look at houses half the time. That was a hopping place down there. Oh my gosh, this was over in Sun Valley, and not Sun Valley, but over off the other side of Indian Trail, Lake Park. Park. And a beautiful home on the pictures. We walk in, and the formal dining room had been turned into a Buddhist shrine.
We see that a lot more.
Statues on the wall, like candles, the whole nine. But it had been photoshopped on the website photos to not include that. Obviously, Erin said this was obviously not a problem for her spiritually.
We're going to need to get this. My dad would have anointed the doorpost for her in that home.
Yeah. We didn't stay long, but for the right person, I'm sure it was less hassle to have to install it later.
You just got to love it. I feel like you guys would be really good real estate agents.
So for what is the weirdest thing you've walked in unexpectedly found in a house, Christy?
A person.
Alive or dead?
Like halfway. I'm not even joking. I went and saw a foreclosure, and for some reason, like, I grew up kind of like, I'm not scared of anything. Maybe I am now, but like 5 years ago I wasn't. And I was like, oh, I can't get the key to, it was like raining and dark, and I was looking at foreclosures, not scared of anything. I couldn't get the front door key to work, and so I went around. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. My buyer's agent was in the car at the time, and I don't know why he didn't go with me, but I walked around to the back, and I kind of pushed in the door. It was open, and I stepped down, and I was like, ooh, this is kind of smushy. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is a person. I put my foot on a person, and he like looked up at me. He was like, hey. I was like, oh my gosh. I shut the door and like ran out as fast as I could back around. I was like, go, go, go. And I ended up calling the listing agent. I was like, there's a person in the basement, and I don't know what else to say, but it was very scary. Very scary.
Oh my gosh.
I know you weren't ready for that, were you? You were thinking more house.
Yeah, I was thinking more like a unique.
I'm so sorry.
That's unique.
It really was, and I felt like it was very but I've seen some weird stuff, but that was definitely probably the most unnerving showing.
Yeah.
Why are you not on a reality TV show yet?
I tried.
I know. I remember that.
One got canceled, and then we were trying to pitch something last year. Had some personnel things, and I don't know.
You would have gotten through that one, and then the corona would have hit. And
yeah,
it's been like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, this close. But our time is coming. Our time is coming. Do you still love your house, Eric?
Yeah, no, this is
You love it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You're in God's country. You are in God's country.
We are in comp heaven right now is what we're in.
You guys definitely picked a sweet little spot. Yeah. Who knew?
I am getting ready to see that wall back there though. That's about to come out.
I'm going to need more information. Wait, hold on. Okay, on the other side of that wall, are you going to make like a front entry garage?
No, this is like on the other side of the wall behind me is the garage. So like,
Okay, yes.
if I'm working on something in the garage, I need to carry tools from here through the family room and then back out to the garage.
This isn't the garage you've been in the whole time?
No, this is my workshop.
I just assumed you had a very short garage.
Oh, I got another garage on the other side of that wall.
You're in the basement.
I'm in the basement. Well, the basement's over there.
I've never been to his house because he lives so far away.
I'm going to need to go in again because I'm all disoriented thinking that you're in the garage.
Well, yes, you do, because we've got this whole grandiose vision of additional walls that we want to tear down, and sure, we'll get your input on it.
I mean, I do love to tear down a wall. I'm not going to lie.
Actually, we'd be putting up more walls than we're tearing down.
We'll talk about that.
All right. Next time you're in the neighborhood.
I hate how open my floor plan is currently. Just joking.
Are you putting up walls, Brian? Are you guys making any structural changes?
No, we're not. Watching those shows that you are wanting to be on, is there one in particular or something that you noticed that's a pet peeve of yours that you're like, this is just not real, or this is something that I couldn't handle, or just is there anything like that you see that's like?
Well, I think because I had my like little HGTV run, with the producers, because the show was like almost ready to run the pilot. What I never realized until all of that was all of those people on House Hunters, Beach Hunters, whatever, like they've already bought the house when they're doing, like, they're just mocking going through all the different ones. Like I did the same thing. They would like set up houses for us to go through, but like we'd already bought our house. And so now knowing that, when I see them, I'm like, lies. And they're like, we're recreating this. But it's like,
because I can always imagine that you as a realtor would be like, hey, Eric, here are 3 options. Which one are you choosing for the rest of your life? I want more options than 3.
I know. Oh, I know, right? They definitely streamline it to a fault. And again, I don't know if that's how they do it anymore, but it's just so scripted. Because think about it, they're not gonna like film a show around like, what if you don't win the bid, or like they've already got it. They've already got that house.
Although I think for sure you definitely could have gotten some good dramatic house hunting TV out of the fiasco we had with this one.
Closing day was
closing day, yeah.
That's what, yeah, it's all coming back to me. Yeah, that was pretty wild. You guys hung in there. I feel like Heidi may or may not have like pulled all that together. I'm just kidding. I don't even know who Heidi is.
She orchestrated the whole thing.
No, but it was good. We had, and that's, I think it's that juggling act of trying to keep everybody happy, but big picture, like it all works out. You got your cash out.
Yeah. I know Eric mentioned his pet peeve to me briefly the other day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because...
What was that?
So have you ever watched any show? It could be any show. It doesn't even have to be like one of those first responder shows, but firefighters, the way that they're portrayed. How many times do you see a firefighter on TV with a beard? Pretty frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Having been in the fire service for, over a decade, like immediately if I see a firefighter on a TV show with a beard, like I totally check out of the show, because according to NFPA, OSHA, all those guys, no beards. Can't have it.
Really?
Because you can't put that face piece on if you got all this hair around your face. Now, the mustache doesn't interfere, which is why you see firefighters with the big bushy mustaches. But if you got hair around your jawline, up by your ears, you won't be able to get that face mask to seal. So, facial hair, big no-no. Show me a firefighter on TV with a beard, and I go, nope, I'm done. Nope, I'm out. Can't do it.
not real. No, and I do feel like that sometimes with the house shows. I'm like, yeah, right. Brian, what do you feel like? What in your industry just doesn't make sense?
I've been in the financial industry since
Yeah.
I left Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm.
I went right next door to the First Union and got a job working from one drive-through to the other drive-through.
The stakes were higher at First Union.
One I gave chicken, and the other I took money, and it didn't smell like chicken. Literally the same job. That was when I started, so I loved it there. It was great. I had a lot of females I worked with. I was the only guy teller, and they were all like early to mid 30s, and it was a great time. I've worked my way in through pretty much every financial job there is, and now I work for a very large financial institution on their social media team. But watching these movies, Christy, do you like Hallmark movies like my wife does?
At certain times of year.
Certain times.
Yeah.
Every one of the bankers in these movies wears like a 3-piece suit and lives in New York.
That's so true.
Every bank, and they're all jerks, obviously, but every banker I know works in a cubicle. Every financial guy that's like, even the ones that do the trading and all this big stuff, like the corporate whatever that they're showing in these movies, they all work in cubicles.
No corner offices? Or very few?
I think that might be the Manhattan people and the things that like do these, like, I don't know, big hedge funds or something, but I don't know. That's something I noticed. It's like they always make them the bad guy that the girl is engaged to before she meets the guy from her hometown. So
every single one.
Is that universally the villain in Hallmark movies?
The banker.
She's always engaged or dating someone who's like up in finance, and he's too nice and too important to talk on his cell phone and things, and that's pretty much it.
Is it funny though? Like you were talking about working with people that like you were really young, and there were ladies and they're like mid-30s. Like I remember thinking mid-30s was like, oh my gosh, those people are kind of old. Yeah. And like now I'm like, here we are.
We graduated from high school 20 years ago.
Whew.
We've been out of school longer than we were in school.
Oh God.
Brian, why are you doing this?
I'm so sad.
Speaking of what the year we graduated, do you remember how big of a deal Y2K was supposed to be?
Like, do you remember being in class at like that was it? That was it. So exciting. Oh yeah, everything was gonna crash on New Year's. That was good times.
Speaking of the future being everything and a side of fries, do you remember, like, I feel like this was a thing maybe 10 years ago where like the late night infomercials, you could like have stars named after people and you could buy land on the moon and stuff like that. Do you remember that?
You still can.
Yeah, but you don't see it talked about. So I did. For Christmas, I bought my parents an acre of land on the moon.
I need to process this.
So how much do you think that would have appreciated or depreciated over the span of a decade?
I don't know. It's so out of my, I feel like it's like, wasn't it like $12 an acre or something? That's what I read last on my little, I knew people were doing it. I've just never known anyone who did it.
Yeah, the plaque, if you get the plaque, it's way more though.
So is it like deeded and like recorded?
Actually, as much as it can be, yes, because there's no like registrar of deeds for the moon. But like,
that's true. I'm not sure who'd be recording.
But it definitely like came with a certificate that it's registered in something, and there was like a deed drafted up along with coordinates and all this other stuff. But like, I have to wonder if like Elon Musk came crashing into my property, like, could I charge him?
I feel like you could. I feel like you could.
I would set an Airbnb there.
That's pretty, I mean, I really do. Like, I've heard of people doing that, but you're the first person that I've known to do that. And that's.
I don't think you could call it Airbnb because there's no air.
Barely breathing and breakfast. Was that funny? I keep telling people how funny I am. No one here is, like, no one ever laughs. Not in this house, anyway. But I'm glad you guys, thank you. Thank you for laughing.
Oh, they clearly aren't on the same intellectual level as the rest of us.
I mean, seriously. That I totally agree. My husband's looking at me like, I think you're funny. No, he doesn't. And neither is my son. But I am.
Funny sometimes.
Okay, he just said I'm funny sometimes. Y'all, it was so much fun. Next time I'm going to have some questions for you guys.
I love it. Love it.
Oh,
So,
I'm sorry. I'm not just, you don't have to have me back.
No, you could be a guest host.
I feel like I have really good questions.
Excellent. Well, maybe we can have a part 2. So I know we're low on time, Eric. So let's recap this. We started at, where did we start?
Well, we had to do the intro.
Yeah.
And then you introduced our sponsor.
Aldi's quarter.
The Aldi quarter. And then we've landed on the moon.
We went from Chick-fil-A to the moon. Aldi's and Chick-fil-A to the moon.
It was fun, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining us. This was a blast. She's already committed to another time, so we'll have to book that sometime in the future.
Yeah, we'll have to see what our view count does.
Yes.
Because it kept going down after we had Icon. I was very surprised, actually.
That makes me so nervous.
Our tens of viewers will miss us.
I know, our tens of, well, 10% of our viewers is on the call with us.
Why is that funny?
It's literally the 3 of us
Because
watching
it's true.
You know, guys,
I watched the video at least once. Brian watches it once. You, if you're not lying to us, you watch it once.
I did. But hey, you're in a kind of a garage. How many amazing things started in a garage?
Yeah.
You guys have seen that meme. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So we'll just have to see.
Well, you ready to take us out, the outro?
Oh, yeah. So this has been episode 5 officially.
Yeah.
And so I'm Eric. That's Brian. Our guest, Christy. And we'll do this again next week. See ya.